A little over a year ago, I brought this barbell into my gym. This is the Rep Fitness Delta Basic Bar. And the reason I brought this in is while a lot of Reps barbells get a ton of love, including from me, very few people out there, if anybody, have taken the time to review their lower price bars. And that's unfortunate because I know a lot of you guys out there aren't in the market for a $300, $400, or $500 barbell. A lot of you just need a good basic bar that does the job and gets the job done. So today I'm ready to give you my verdict after over a year of use. Did the Rep Fitness Delta Basic Bar turn out to be something I can recommend, or should you look at something different? Welcome back to the GymCrafter YouTube channel, everybody. My name is Tim. I am the head gym nerd here at GymCrafter.com, the website and YouTube channel that I built to help ordinary folks like you and I build home and garage gyms that we absolutely love. And I've got to be honest with you, most of the ordinary folks out there who build a home and garage gym are only ever going to buy one barbell. And they're probably not going to want to spend a ton of money on it because for most people, they're not going to be able to notice a difference from one bar to the next, especially if all you've ever used are those really junky bars at your local gym that have never been cleaned, the knurl's all worn off, they're rusty on one end. Yeah. So really anything's a step up from those. And that, unfortunately, is how a lot of people end up buying cheap, inexpensive bars that are only sold on Amazon, which is something that I absolutely do not recommend that you do. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, you don't want to just get a piece of junk. Number two, you can spend the same amount of money on something like this or some other barbells that I've reviewed and get a much better bar. And if you buy right the first time, even if you buy a lower price bar, you're gonna have a bar that's gonna last you for the rest of your life. And like I said, for most ordinary folks, they're only gonna buy one barbell. They're gonna wanna use it for a long time. So that's why I put over a year of use onto this bad boy before I came out to tell you of whether or not I would recommend it. So we'll skip straight to the verdict. I absolutely do recommend it. This is one of my 2 recommended barbells for entry-level folks, for people just starting their home gym. I'll give you a list of people who I think this is good for at the end of the video, but I do recommend this bar in quite a few different instances. Just to get it out of the way, there's another bar by Living Fit, which is their Cerakote multi-purpose bar. Typically when I recommend your first barbell for your gym or a bar that's gonna be your only bar, I recommend one of 2 things. I either recommend a multi-purpose bar, which is gonna be a 28 to 28.5 millimeter diameter bar with no center knurl and a little bit more of a passive knurling on it. And that's gonna do a lot of folks really everything that they need to do in their gym, right? Now, for those of you out there who are going to be focusing more on the big 5 lifts, your bench press, your deadlift, your squat, your overhead press, and your bent over row, you're gonna want a powerlifting bar. And what's the marks of a powerlifting bar are a 29 millimeter shaft is a little bit thicker, a little bit stiffer. You're gonna want a little bit more aggressive knurl. You are gonna want a center knurl because you want this to be able to not only grip your back when you're doing squats, but this is a great alignment aid, which you don't get when there's no center knurl. And you're gonna want that type of a bar. So one of those 2 bars. So if you are in the market for the first type of bar, I do have a review here on the channel of that Living Fit bar. I absolutely love it. I'm actually looking at it right now. It is a great recommendation for you, but for the rest of you looking for a power bar and you're on a budget and you wanna buy something that you're gonna get a lot for your money, you're not gonna have to buy another bar in a couple of years, but you're not gonna break the bank. This guy right here retails at 179 bucks. Check the link below to check the current prices. I know Reps always run in sales and things like that. And that is, as we always tell you on the Home Gym YouTube channels, that is an affiliate link. And what that means is that 2 things that are really important that everybody needs to know. Number one, yes, that helps the channel. I love it when you do that. I really appreciate you folks that use the link to help me out. But more than that, one of the ways that I can get, now I bought this bar, Rep did not send me this bar, I actually bought it with my own money. However, Rep does occasionally send me things for free, and sometimes they give me discounts and meet me halfway. And the only way they know to do that kind of stuff is if you guys click on the link. So if you think this video helped you make a buying decision to buy something like this, make sure you use those links, whether it's me or Gluck or another channel, whoever it happens to be, whoever your favorite influencer is, by you guys using those links, you're letting the companies know that it's worthwhile to continue to work with us. And that way we get to bring you more reviews like this without you spending your own hard-earned money to see if it's good or not. Yay! But with all that out of the way, let's get into the review of the bar. Like I said, I definitely do recommend it, but let's start with what the specs are so that you know what you're looking at. Like I said, this is a mixed use / powerlifting bar. It's got all of the specs of a powerlifting bar. The only thing that makes it a mixed use, to be honest with you, is it's got dual knurl markings on it. I like this for most people. Now this is what's called an IPF and an IWF spec knurl ring. Basically, that means that if you're going to compete, that these are the correct distance away for either Olympic weightlifting or powerlifting. For me, when I'm training folks or when I'm helping people learn the barbell, these two Knurl rings are beneficial because they give you aids on where to remember to put your hands, and I love having two, so I think it's a great thing to have. But that's what makes it a quote-unquote mixed-use barbell. It is a 20 kilogram bar. It is 86.6 inches long. The loadable sleeve length is just over 16 inches long. Like I said, the shaft diameter is 29 millimeters. The sleeves are 50 millimeters, so basically they fit in your normal 2-inch wide Olympic plates. The bushings or bearings, it's got brass bushings, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. The sleeves are smooth sleeves, they're not ribbed, which I love. And then the knurl, it does have a center knurl. The knurl is a medium volcano knurl, and we'll go over where it fits in reps lineup in just a second. And the bar itself is steel. The finish on both the shaft and the sleeves is bright chrome. And here's a stat that I want to just address right up front. This is a 700-pound load capacity bar. When I've had this on my website, GymCrafter.com, recommended as one of my recommended entry-level bars, and I get a lot of comments there that, oh, it's only got a 700-pound capacity. Look, for folks buying a $180 bar, if you're lifting more than 700 pounds, you probably shouldn't be buying a $180 bar. For the rest of you, don't sweat it. If you've got the high quality problem of needing to load more than 700 pounds on here, this is not the barbell for you. But up to 699 pounds, this thing will work just fine. It's 135K tensile strength. Guys, don't worry about tensile strength, especially at this level of barbell. If you are a competitive power lifter, then you need to start worrying about tensile strength. Other than that, if you're buying a barbell from a reputable company like Rep, like Rogue, like Titan, like Bells of Steel, Fringe Sport, any of these guys out there, they're gonna have a tensile strength that's appropriate for the bar that you're buying. It's real easy to get bogged down into specs and statistics. And really, when you're buying a barbell, there's only a couple of things that I really think you should look at. Number one is the knurl, number two is the finish, number three is the sleeve spin. If they get those three things right, and then like I said at the beginning, you're buying the right format bar for the lifting you're doing, you're gonna be pretty well in shape if you take care of those things. So let's go through those three things. I'll let you know how the Delta bar lives up to all of those, and we're gonna start with the knurl because I absolutely love the knurl. So when I put a barbell in people's hands, especially just ordinary folks, not folks who have giant shoe leather calluses on their hands, Rep has 3 different levels of volcano knurl. They have this. One step up from this is their black diamond bar, and then one step up from that is their double black diamond bar. The double black diamond bar is super aggressive, got these little tiny points that are like, rolling the bar on broken glass for a lot of people. I know a lot of you experienced lifters out there really love that knurl. My guy Kurt over at the Kurt Locker just did a review on that bar, go check that out. I've got a review on it here as well. I also have a review on this channel of the double black diamond versus the single black diamond, so you can see the difference. But as those pertain to the Delta bar, this is the perfect knurl for your first barbell. This is your perfect knurl for folks who are just learning barbell training. This is the perfect knurl for a barbell that's good for the whole family. Your spouse is gonna like this, your kids are gonna like this. It's got really good grip, it's got some good bite without being aggressive. You can do some pretty heavy deadlifts and bench presses, and this isn't gonna hurt your hands, but it's going to stick in your hands as well. I really, really like the knurl, especially for an entry-level bar like this. When you look at entry-level bars, this is one of the reasons why I suggested not buying something on Amazon. A lot of the drawbacks of these Amazon bars, and even some of the lower price bars, like company that I like RipFit or Major Fitness, you buy these bars and their bars, just their knurl is almost non-existent. It's just not good. Or the opposite is because they have engineers designing their bars, it's just overly aggressive and it's too much. The Rep guys absolutely nailed this knurl for the customer that this bar is aimed at. So if you are this bar's customer, you are going to like this knurl. The second thing is the finish. Now this is a bright chrome finish, and in the fitness industry and the home gym industry, there's really 2 types of bright chrome. One should be called decorative chrome. This is another reason why I don't recommend that you get bars that are only sold on Amazon. A lot of times you'll see a quote unquote chrome bar, and what happens is very quickly that chrome bubbles and chips off and rusts underneath. And that's actually one of the reasons why I used this bar for as long as I did. And I didn't maintenance this bar at all. Now this bar saw no chalk at all. It saw a lot of use, but there was no chalk used. The folks in my gym who use chalk to lift use different bars than this. But this bar did see a really old beat up landmine that I have quite a bit. This became the landmine bar And anytime somebody needed to use a landmine, I asked them to use this because I wanted to see if the sleeve was going to hold up to the raggedy old metal edge of the landmine that I use. And the reason for that is, if you can remember back when you were a kid, now I'm in my 50s, so when I was a kid, BMX bikes were the thing, right? And chrome was the color. That was the color everybody wanted. The problem is that a chrome bike from Kmart was not the same chrome bike if you got a GT or a Hero or one of the nicer bikes out there. And what happened was the GT, that chrome stayed really nice. It looked pretty the whole time. The chrome bike from Kmart, which is what I had, that chrome bubbled up and chipped off and cracked off and everything like that. And I'm sure we've all had products that have that style chrome on it, and I wanted to make sure that this wasn't that, and this is not that. This is bright chrome, so it's not quite as nice and durable as hard chrome, which is a little bit more matte finish, but this has really held up. There's absolutely no corrosion on here. I've got other bars in the gym that I've left for a year that have started. I've got a bright zinc bar that started to corrode a little bit. I've got a black zinc bar that started to corrode a little bit. This has shown absolutely no corrosion whatsoever. All we've ever done is wipe it down. I did clean it up a little bit for this video. This thing looks brand new. Now the sleeves do have a few little minor scratches from the landmine and from loading plates on it, but I was actually really surprised. These sleeves are in remarkably good condition. So the durability of this finish is really good, guys. This is a really nice, solidly well-applied finish. And speaking of well-applied, the knurling is really well done. It's super even. There's no areas of overlap. That's another area where on these cheaper bars, what'll happen is you'll see areas on the knurl where they made one pass and then they made another pass, and the ends of the passes overlaid, and it's just kind of sloppy. The knurl terminations on this are super crisp and clean. This knurl is as well applied on this bar as it is on their $400 double black diamond and higher end bars. So I'm really happy with how the knurling is applied. The other thing that really surprised me is the sleeve spin. When you look at the sleeves and how they spin, now this is a bushing system. It is buttery smooth. It does have some nice roll off when you put plates on it and spin it. They spin really nice and free. And that's one of the things that really surprised me. The fit and finish of this bar is really nice. Now, it doesn't have the laser engraving on the shoulders like a lot of their higher end bars do. The end cap is just printed. It's not like stamped metal with enamel. So there's some scaled down things on this, but for 180 bucks, I really don't know of another power bar that you can get that's going to be even close to this nice. So who do I recommend this bar for? I think I've kind of already tipped a couple of people. Number one, if you are building your first home gym and you're just not sure what kind of bar to buy and you think you're gonna be doing those big 5 lifts, I would start with this bar. Also, if you're building a home gym for the first time and you know that you're gonna want a nicer barbell, but you're not super experienced yet and you're concerned about spending $300 or $400 or $500 on a bar and then maybe regretting which one you bought, or maybe you're not sure of the style lifting you're gonna be doing, so you just wanna kind of start with something that is a good starter bar. This is fantastic for that, because what I would do is I would start with this bar. It's gonna free up some money to buy some other stuff in your gym, but it's also going to be able to move to what I call, or a lot of people call, a beater bar down the road. It's going to be able to be your landmine bar. It's gonna be able to be your second bar for supersets. It's gonna be something that you can kind of, use for different things that you might not wanna use a $400 or $500 barbell for. And this is gonna fill that slot really nicely. And most folks, like I said, are only ever gonna have one bar, but there's a lot of folks who might go to 2, and that's typically when you have 2 straight barbells. There's one of 2 mixes. You either have a multi-use Olympic style barbell and a powerlifting bar, or you'll have a nice bar and a beater bar, and this will fill that slot really nicely. It'll also fill the slot of the power bar if you decide, hey, Olympic lifting is my thing and I want to spend the premium barbell money on an Olympic weightlifting bar. So there's a couple of times where this is really going to be an advantageous bar to buy. Like I said, for the price, I don't know that there's another better bar out there. And if you have any questions on this bar, drop it in the comments below. I'm always happy to check something out, to measure something for you, to test something, to answer a more specific question, because I know for a lot of folks, even 180 bucks is a lot of money to spend on something like this. So if you do have questions and you're hesitating, please let me know down in the comments. I'm happy to help you out. So that is the Delta Basic Bar after a little bit over a year of use. So So, and that's why you come to GymCrafter, right? This is the type of reviews that I do. So if you like reviews like this, where I actually put the bar to its use, I kind of figure out the ins and outs of things, and I do this with all of the products that I review here on GymCrafter, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm putting out 2 reviews a week right now, and I'm coming up on a time where I've got a lot of things that are due for this type of review. So if you like seeing things beyond just my unboxing initial impressions videos, make sure you're subscribed. If you like this type of a video, like the video down below. And until the next review, I'm Tim with GymCrafter.